rewrote the clients. So there's no longer the C strip and the A strip. It's just one client application, and then the admin app to control that. So that sort of the main story is this combining of the strips. So everything should pretty much still pretty much function the way that it did for the A strip and the C strip. It's just the one install now. So it shouldn't behave any.
Sorry, I interrupt you. But we have admin app, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we still have the admin app. Right. And that we'll walk through that. That looks more different than the first response app that replaces the two strips. So the new app, first response app itself, is what we're calling it instead of C strip or A strip. If you're logged in as an A strip user, or what would have been an A strip user, it should still behave the same as the A strip did. Same for the C strip. If you're logged in as a C strip user, the single app should behave as the C strip did in terms of alerts popping up and all of that. So it's just we're sort of anywhere that any of your tests said A strip or C strip, we would just sort of replace that with app now going forward. But the behavior should be 99% the same. Let me fire it up and show you what I mean. I will log in. I'll log in as an RA. So login screen, much the same. Login still. Whoops! It popped up over on my other screen. You're not hearing that, but I'm still getting alert sounds. So the alerts still pop up. This one happened to not have a lat long acknowledge, still the same. So the alerts should all look much the same. Hang on, let me get it so I can simulate a few other ones. Incident overview is one place where there's a bit. Well, actually, I guess this. Oh, I must not have RCOM turned on for these agencies. Sorry about that. It's still the same. You can still click through, get details about that. One thing that is different is now all of the columns are available to show or hide, as the case may be, for both, regardless of which agency type you are. So I think there's a few more here than used to be present in the A strip settings window. It should be the same for everyone now. Accounts window, or accounts tab, same, changing name, changing password. About window. Let me see that version number. Oh, need to change the version number. So this should all still function the same as it did in the old app. If you notice anything not doing what it was supposed to do, then that would be a bug. Let me hang on. Well, actually, let me go ahead and fire up the admin app, because that's where a lot of the differences are. I'll fire that up. So again, the app should be mostly the same. You won't see this column. This is something we're testing and we're working on internally. We won't have you test, so that one won't be there for you. So the admin app is drastically different. The biggest difference is now agencies can configure all their alert settings on a per agreement basis. So this RA1 currently has three agreements set up, one with each of the PSAPs, and those settings can be different for each agreement. They might not be now, but for example, like the PSAP 1, RA1, pretty much everything except for a couple things configured to pop up. PSAP 2, slightly different. Can have different sounds, that kind of thing. You can see a lot of these sounds are, not the rapid ding ding, and most of these are. So that's probably one of the, not probably, that's the biggest difference. I think. Correct me if you think I'm wrong. Anybody else? But that's the biggest difference for the admin app, and subsequently a lot of the behavior of this strip is this settings based on the agreement that the alert or the incident matches will affect how it's displayed, what sound is played, that kind of thing. So that's one big thing. Having turned on ARCOM, this was another story that we worked on, having just the ARCOM count separate from the total alerts. So if I go in and now, I must not have it turned on for the agency. I'll log in as the PSAP agency, so you can see what that looks like in a minute. But so this part is going to be a lot of testing for you, I think, because it's, there's all the alert types. Do they all behave correctly for every agreement that the agency has? Security, I think, is, oh, that's interesting. Okay, cancel. I think that's pretty much the same. Counts are the same. There is also another report type now. Summary reports are the same ones that you will have tested in the past. They get generated at the beginning of every month for the previous month. We also have the option of specific incident reports now. So to generate one of those, you'll probably want to wait and do this a day or two into your testing. So because the reports are only available, I want to say it might be 24 hours, it might be 48 hours after the incident is closed for generation. So, and yet, so as a responding agency, I'll pick the PSAP that the call came from, pick a date for it. There probably aren't any in here right now. Let's see. And then pick an incident in the drop-down list. If I pick a day where there are no incidents, you'll get that no incidents found list. If there are, you pick by address. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find a date now. Okay, there we go. If there are incidents available for that date, you pick them based on the address. Hit generate. I'm honestly not sure if that function is running right now. Hit generate, and when it comes back, you'll see that the request has been made. It'll come back without the download link, and then when the request is available, the download button will fill in, and you can click it and download it. So that's another big piece that's new and different from what you will have tested in the past. Keywords and accounts security, like I said, the same. So the new report type and the drastically different configuration are the big pieces of the admin app that are different. So do you have any questions about that? Yeah, Swati, go ahead.
The keywords also will be different. It should be tested for.
Oh, you're right.
Agreement, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. Please feel free to jump in with anything I'm missing, because I'm too close to this to remember everything at this point. But Swati is correct. The keywords apply on, and I'm pretty sure these are all the same, but the keywords apply on an agency, on an agreement basis as well. Similar to these alert settings. So, and just for the sake of clarification, everything below the partner agreement drop down is on a per agreement basis. The general settings are just for the agency itself. So, the alert sound repeat count and how if the PSAP requires an acknowledgement, and the RA has the display set to none. So like if they required, if I put this for none, if they required a keyword acknowledgement, which they probably would, it would pop up but that's on a per agreement basis. Did I forget anything for the admin app? Do you have any questions?
Do we have tickets in Jira for these changes?
There are a lot. I mean, I think the currently the current closed. I just did it and I closed that tab. I think there are currently 60 something closed issues. Some of them, a bunch of them are not things that you're going to be able to test. Some of them are bugs that we have found in our own testing, but before we're getting this out to you. So yeah. Yeah, so this is the story that covers the bulk of the admin app changes, and then there are, let me see if let me go back to, sorry, projects. Some of them have been closed, but what am I looking for? This isn't even what I was looking for. You'll see some of these bugs, and this was things that weren't working kind of as we developed the new version. So it'll be stuff that you want to make sure are working, but they should all sort of like factor into part of the testing. Where was the? I'll get you a number on the total number. It is significantly more than this, but a lot of these are, like, for example, a lot of these ones are not things that you'll be able to test because they're adapters for our customers and stuff like that. And I'm fairly certain I will, before we deliver send you the actual build email, I will make sure that everything you can't test is clearly labeled as not testable, so you don't waste time on it.
Any changes in API collection?
That is a good question. I don't know. I mean, we do have, Paul did do some work to decouple our login from our authentication. I will send you I'll send you an updated link to the Postman collection. I don't know that. Is there anything we particularly need them to test for that, Paul? I mean, it's all baked into the client, so testing of the clients should exercise that pretty well.
I don't think we want them testing that outside of the client. The only reason they would ever do that would be to get a token to make some other request that they would test outside of the clients, which again, I don't think is necessary because the simulation uses.
The simulator doesn't use those, right? Yeah. So I will send you an updated link to this, but I don't think anything is drastically. I don't think there's anything different from before. Relevant settings per agreement, admin app updated, so we sort of covered those, and the combined strips. Let me close this and log in as a PSAP so you can see the other half of how that is different with the new app. It would be nice if it popped up. So for an agency owner, this is what the admin app looks like. It's a little bit, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit closer to what it used to be. Again, same thing for all the agreements. We'll sort these out to make sure they're not weird because I see some duplicate ones. I think that we use for some internal testing that probably need to get removed. But RCOM enabled, acknowledgement required, and then the same delayed act. The delayed act, they still don't have the option of how that displays. It still is just the same pop-up that it was. And then RCOM settings. Again, you won't need to worry about this section at all. Counts, keywords, same as for the responding agencies. It's based on which agreement it's for. Short codes are agency-wide, and then the reports are the same. Same as for the RAs. So again, the thing that's going to be different for PSAPs is good. You have the option of, based on the agreement, having different required acknowledgements and a different delayed acknowledgement time for that agreement. The thinking being, you know, if there's an ambulance company that frequently takes a long time to acknowledge things, you know, you can set that delayed acknowledgement accordingly. So you either are or are not, depending on the preference, being notified that they're taking a while to click the acknowledgement button. I think that's it. And then I think the only other like really visible difference, did I get my RCOM tab? No, that didn't look like it pushed correctly. So let me fire up an app again and see about that. The RCOM tab, which I believe, yeah, you will have seen that in the old apps, looks, we added agency, incident details on the tab, just so it's a little bit more obvious to the users. Again, it's a little, when we're dealing with test data, it's a little bit sort of less helpful in a test environment than it would be for actual users who, you know, recognize actual street names and cities and stuff. But just to give them more context about what which incident they're discussing on that tab, because they don't have the app there. The map there, excuse me. Let me simulate another one and see if I can get a map. Oh, and the map pointers look different also. Swati, your mic is there. You've spent honestly more time using the apps than I have lately. Is there anything I'm forgetting? Anything we should note that I haven't mentioned? I feel like it's a big change and I've kind of glossed through things a bit. Again, it's the big thing is the settings. Settings per agreement. The other thing that is behind the scenes, and I'll make sure when we send out the build email, let me pull this off so we can find it. I'll make sure that the agreements that are in place in the database when you start testing allow you to test this appropriately. Is we have we now support more than one responding agency responding to a single incident. So in the event that, let's say for example, you're familiar with, you know, usually we have area 1 and area 2 going for RA1 and area 3 and area 4 going to RA2. Let's say for some reason they both, like if we added an agency in area 5, both RA1 and RA2 were responding to that incident for whatever reason, just as a, like, that's the way that the agreements are set up. In that case, if I'm logged in, let me fire it up as a PSAP. Basically, everything should still behave correctly for that. So PSAP 1 in that case would see if RA, I don't think it's configured that way, or I would show it to you, but they would see both RA1 and RA2 in the list for who was responding. They would get, you know, if one of the RAs acknowledged an address change and the other one didn't, they would get a delayed ACK for the one that didn't for that agency. And all of the RCOMs would go out to everyone. So they can't, basically the RCOM, much like ComTalk was sort of an agency-wide and it's incident-wide. So it's going out to everybody who is affiliated with that incident. So that both RAs would get it if either RA sent the message, the PSAP and the other RA get that message. Everybody involved should see all of the RCOMs is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that makes sense. That's probably the other piece that's different from the last time that this was tested. I think. So there are, like you said, there are a lot of, let me see if I can get all the things that are fixed. Resolved. Advanced search is more helpful. Resolved. Did we get, okay, yeah. So there's currently 90 resolved things. Again, I'd hesitate to, I mean, some of them are bugs. Some of them are just subtasks that you won't, let's see if I make it, what happens if we make it stories? And type.
And some of them isn't testable, I think.
Yes, some of them are definitely, several of them are not testable. Plugins, adapters, adapter, not testable. So there's 30 stories. Again, a lot, I mean, just even right here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, of the 10 on this page, 7 are not testable. So, and again, I'll make sure to go through and make sure they're all, I mean, the ones that you literally can't do anything for, I'll go ahead and close. And if it's, if there are subtasks to things that aren't really testable, I'll make sure everything is tagged appropriately. So you're not wasting time trying to look at things that you can't test. Yeah, do you have any other questions? I'm trying to, I feel like there's something I'm forgetting and I can't think of what it is. Paul, Mike, Swati, anything? Is there anything when you were testing Mike or Swati that you think should be especially called out, highlighted, that I didn't?
There wasn't anything really that you didn't need to pay special attention to. I don't think. The units have already been tested, unit times, or you don't have that as part of this?
Unit times. I mean, no, you're right. They're, I believe they have in the past. They're
Okay.
not currently configured to display, but you're right.
Okay.
Have you,
I mean,
yeah,
that's fine. Multiple units on a call. Is that part of your testing? Or is that so minor you don't worry about that?
I'm not sure I follow multiple units on a call.
Don't we display multiple units now if there's more than one?
Oh, yes. I don't think the simulator
Simulator doesn't do that? Okay, that's fine.
is configured to do that.
No, I can't think of anything that, like I said, when I ran into those things that you saw.
Right,
I know.
are in. Let me.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems like you took care of them already anyway.
Yeah, I think there's one more that I need to. Yeah, so like you can see here, there's a handful of bugs. Some of them are old. I think the ones in the high 700s are newer, and like Mike said, they're things that he found while testing the new applications that have since been fixed. ComTalk's, oh, that might be a new thing. ComTalk is not in the new app. There is no ComTalk. So all of your ComTalk tests can you can scrap them. It doesn't exist anymore. We're pushing everybody to move exclusively to RCOM, or forcing, because there is no CommTalk anymore. Yeah, that honestly was faster than I was expecting, but a lot of it is, it should still mostly work the way that it did, with the big change being the larger possibility for alert settings based on the agreements. So I think that's,
So you're going to cut a release.
Yep.
Obviously clear out Jira, give
Yep.
him everything that's in Jira that from the last time he tested or from when?
I think so.
Okay.
I've taken, there are some things some bugs that were filed against, the last version back in, I don't know, what was that, August, that aren't relevant anymore for the new app. And I think I've gone, there's a handful of won't fix because they just don't apply to the new app anymore. But I have already taken one pass, at least one, possibly two passes through Jira, and tried to make sure everything is tagged correctly. And I will review it again today before we send the build email out to make sure everything is appropriate for the release.
Okay. I didn't have anything special obviously then, no. Other than the whole thing working, I don't have anything special to concentrate on.
Yeah, so I guess really what we need is like a full, you would like a full regression test, right, Mike and Swati?
Yes.
Because this is, it's, the application itself is completely new. It's heavily taken from the old code, but it's a lot of new code that there might be button clicks that we haven't.
And based on our current customer, can we limit this to Windows 10, Heather, or no?
Except for Bartow, I think. Let me check quickly. I think they're the last holdover for. I'm looking. Yeah, if you want to talk to that particular county, see what their plan is. Other than that, everybody's on Windows 10. So yes, that's
really?
a good point.
Okay, I thought we looked at the other day. There's more than just one. Okay.
I just refreshed. Oh, well, there's one TCAD machine on 8.1.
They ain't gonna upgrade anyway.
Yeah, everybody else who is currently logged in is on Windows 7.
On Windows 10, I hope you meant.
That is what I meant, yes.
Yes.
Sorry. Everybody else is currently on Windows 10. The only Windows 7 is Bartow.
Swati, do you want to forego Windows 7 testing?
Yeah, I think I'm good with that.
Do you at least want to do a smoke test on it? Install and it runs basically, but nothing
It
more.
starts, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. But I don't
Okay.
think we need to spend a lot of time on it.
Do we have deadline? Because there are more tickets. At first, we need to perform new feature testing. After that, defect validation, I think, regression testing, smoke test. What do you think?
What was the question?
Do we have deadline?
Oh, a
A
deadline.
Deadline.
I'll defer that question.
Because now I have only one QA engineer, Eugene. And I think if we don't have time, I need to find more engineers for this.
What is your capability with one engineer to do the testing that Heather and Swati just described?
I don't know. At first, I think we need to investigate, because I think we will have a lot of questions. I don't know. What do you think about our time?
So based on the, okay, so why don't we get you the
2
build
weeks?
information? Okay. I was thinking maybe if we give you the build information, we can get a estimate from you. Because then Heather and Paul will have gone through and made sure that anything that's not testable is
Mhm.
or doesn't pertain to this build has been cleaned up, and only the things that you can touch or can assess is, is left in what you need to do, and then maybe you can give us.
Mhm. Okay,
mean, I
could you
think we were- Go ahead.
please send us the build notifications with filters, collection,
Yes.
and I think we can investigate it, and I can say how long it would be. Okay.
I mean, I think we were expecting that this would probably take you a little longer than average because there is so much new stuff, right? Is that fair, Swati?
We do want a full regression test, but really by the time you get to the buttons that you can click, except for the admin app, it's very similar to what was there before. So I mean, I think it won't be as daunting after you see what's there. It's really the same tests, I would think, at least for the apps. The admin, yes, you'll need to do a lot there. So yes, you want to change all the settings and verify that they propagated to the right place and those types of things. So
Swati, do we have a hard date that we need this done by? Like, is there any, do we have that requirement? And
I don't know. I'd have to defer that to Mike.
then if not, I think the best thing is get a build email. That would be Wednesday for you guys, Oleg. And then you tell us by Friday what you can do with either one engineer or more engineers. Is that okay?
Okay.
Mike?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, that's actually okay. Yeah, I still want to release this. The target date I have for release is the 30th. So that's obviously not going to happen now. But soon after that, I would like to do this. So, let's after you see what you have, Oleg, come back with us as to how much time you need. And we'll see, we'll go from there.
Okay, no problem.
We think you're really going to enjoy the new version of this app, Oleg.
Mhm.
Oh, man.
Okay, anything else?
Right. No, I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Heather.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
I will
Thank
get
you.
get this out to you for your morning tomorrow.
Okay, have a nice day, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.